Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Erin. Um, Nice to see you, everybody. Thanks for taking time out of your evening to be here with me. I'm in Los Angeles area, so it's a little earlier in the day for me, 4 o'clock. Um, and I thought I would I would just tell you my story. I think it's probably unique in some ways and probably lines up with what other people have done in some other ways. And let you know that I have just made it up as I've gone along, which is kind of what I do in music. So that's kind of how I've run my my business model, I suppose, is that I'm always trying to be open to things and aware of what's happening around me and inside myself and make my decisions based on that. Um, I'm not going to talk about my music very much, but I'll try to just keep it about my business. And I would say that sometime around, well, I graduated with a jazz piano degree back in 1998, and made a decision with my husband to start a family early. And so my career is not like most people's. I decided I'm gonna have some kids. I'm gonna mostly stay home with them, and I'm gonna do what I can to keep my music sharp. So for years, from like 1999 until I would say 2010 or 11, all I did was raise my family, practice, and do gigs, and write and record when I could. And my husband was a real champ about always saying, yes, go do the gig, go do the gig. I'm going to watch the kids, easy peasy. Like, well, it wasn't always easy if I got home at 2 in the morning and then had to take them to school the next day or whatever. But that's how it went for like, I guess, yeah, 11 solid years or something. And then, the world started to change a bit. The internet was changing and Facebook happened. There was this group on Facebook that started. I'm not exactly sure the year. I didn't look it up, but I'm going to say maybe 11, 10, I don't know, something like that. It was called Jam of the Week. And on Jam of the Week, there was just this Facebook group, and the guy who ran it, named Farnell, he'd just say the name of a song every week. And anybody that wanted to could record themselves playing the song and post it. And then people would comment. And it's the first time I could really put myself out there, because I wasn't touring at all. And it was the first way to say, here I am in my corner of the world. I'll play how I can play and see what people think of it. And it was good. My videos did pretty well. And that was the start of me recording myself, I suppose. It wasn't long after that the first streaming app came on the market. It was called Periscope, and Twitter was the owner of it. And so I'd say from about 2013 to 2016, I tried that. I tried streaming, and some cool things happened with that. I got some contacts of people. Some people started donating things to me. They were like, "Oh, you need this. You need an iPad to do this. You need a better keyboard." Something, and so I would get these donations. I thought that was pretty cool. But the best thing that happened to me out of Periscope was that I was able to meet Rick Beato, who has a great big YouTube channel now, if you know that guy. And he said, "Aimee, how are you doing Periscope? What is this streaming thing?" And I said, "You should try it." And he did try it, and he was good at it, but nobody was listening to him. I tried to help him, but it didn't work. And at the same time, somebody told him he ought to start a YouTube channel instead. He already had one viral video about his son and his son's perfect pitch. So when he started his YouTube channel, he already had people paying attention to him there, kind of. And he did it for about 6 months. And then he said to me, "Aimee, you quit Periscope." He's like, "I don't think it's going anywhere, but YouTube feels like it's really the place." And so this was in 2016. And he said, "Here's the deal though. If you want to make it on YouTube, you're going to have to make a video every day for at least 6 months." And I have this personality that is not type A. I don't know if it's type B, but it's definitely not type A. Like, where I don't really want a schedule. I don't want anybody telling me what I have to do. And I don't want to be like beholden to some platform or some people. Like, I really like to go at my own speed. So I was hesitant to do that. But I thought, let me do what I've been doing on Jam of the Week. So I started, recording all the things you are. I recorded my take on Wonderwall, played a Michael Jackson song, a Stevie Wonder song, right over there at my piano. No special equipment. I just had an iPhone. And Rick told me that was fine. He was like, do that. He's like, until you grow your channel, you can do everything with an iPhone. So that was kind of cool advice. And I did. But those videos did not do well. Nothing was happening. I was making one a day. I was like, Rick, this is no good. And he goes, why don't you try teaching something? And I thought, all right. I was like, I've got things up, ruminating up in my head that I could talk about, but I'm hesitant to do that because I feel like if I give away my own thought processes that maybe people would steal those from me and they wouldn't be mine anymore. And he was really cool. He said, you can tell people all about how you think about music, and they can never steal what you have given them because you are you. He goes, you can tell somebody to, how to scat sing, how to be melodic in their solos, and you can tell them exactly how you feel about it. And they're never going to do it like you do because you're you. So I trusted him. And I just started spilling my guts every day, making a different video about all the things that I could think of. And I did it. I made 6 videos a week. I would take Sundays off. And I did that for 6 months with my iPhone. And by the end of the 6 months, I had 10,000 followers on Instagram. So it happened. And some videos started doing better than others, but the teaching was the key. And I realized very quickly, people want to learn on the internet for free.
Mm.
And so when you do YouTube, you get paid from Google Ads. Google, they show ads before your videos, and depending on how many minutes people watch your YouTube channel, that's how much money you make in Google Ads. So the longer you can keep people engaged, the more money you're going to make. And up until this point, until 2016, I would estimate that just by doing gigs and selling CDs, I was maybe never making more than like $4,000 a year. My husband was keeping us afloat. He is a special education lawyer. So he's a lawyer, but he's not the corporate kind of lawyer that's ever going to make a lot of money. He's the guy who represents people who can't usually afford to pay him, which is extremely noble. And I wanted to be able to help him, keep that profession and not feel pressure on himself. And he kept us alive until 2016. And then these Google ads started to add up for me. And I would have good months and bad months. And the whole time Rick Beato and I are texting each other, oh, my video is doing really well. I earned $100 off of it already. And he back and forth. And until he had some viral videos, and all of a sudden he was like, phew. Anyway, we don't talk about money anymore, Rick and I. He kind of left me in the dust. But anyway, okay, let's see. So then sometimes I would have some good months. I would notice that some videos are doing better than others. YouTube provides a creator studio where you can track your success there. You can see your all of your analytics, see who's watching your videos, where things are resonating with people, and across gender, across age, across borders. Like, you can see everything, which is really cool. But what I noticed was that people in the comments kept saying things like, where's the sheet? Where's the PDF? Where can I get the worksheet? And I was like, what? Like, I am not your normal piano teacher. I'm not trying to teach you how to play this specific arrangement of this specific jazz standard. Like, I'm trying to teach you to use your ears. I'm trying to teach you to think critically about music. I'm teaching you concepts with the idea that, like, if I teach the man to fish, he can catch the fish himself. I'm not going to catch the fish for him. So I was like, no, I say, that doesn't know what I'm about. I would type it back. I'm not about that. I'm not going to give you a worksheet. I really want you to use your brain. But everybody, where's the sheet? Where's the sheet, Aimee? So I kind of realized that there are different people are different than me. There are different learning styles. And if people needed something visual, maybe I could give it to them. And when I started to think about that, I thought, and what if I charged $5 per sheet? Mulled that over a little bit, and I thought I'm gonna have to ramp up my website. And so I hired somebody that I had met through Jam of the Week, actually. His name's Marco, and he lives in Italy. And Marco has worked for me since 2016, running my website. Erin, maybe you could put my website up.
Yeah,
And
sure thing.
so the first thing I said to him was, we're gonna need a place to sell PDFs. I'm gonna start making videos that have PDFs that go along with it. And we're gonna charge $5 for every one of them. I don't care if it's a great big PDF, it's gonna be the same size as the smaller PDF. So you can see that's the first tab on my website. And if you click on it, then you can see all of the PDFs I've ever made, and every single one of them goes along with a video. And pretty soon, my income became more than just gigs, selling CDs, and Google ads. It became ding, $5 for the Sonny Rollins PDF, ding, $5 for the Oscar Peterson PDF, ding. And I would see these notifications all day long. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, let's go get burgers, kids. Like, I got some extra money. Like, but okay, you can stop sharing it, I think.
Okay,
But Marco built me a
cool.
super nice website. And 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 he made it possible for me to just use PayPal to sell these worksheets, and that became the largest part of my income, bigger than the Google ads. And and so I started to say, I guess I guess it's good to not be in my own little box of what I want to do, and actually listen to what other people need from me. Um, and and then people started saying, Aimee, you've got 20, 30, 40,000 followers on YouTube. I think you better start making videos with something else besides your iPhone. Um, so I started using my skills from the streaming Periscope that I learned, and going on YouTube Live and talking to my followers about this. And I would be like, all right, you guys are telling me I need a camera. Who is good at this stuff? Can anybody recommend cameras? And they were typing. They say, you should get this. You should look into this. You should look into that. Okay, good. What else do I need? I need a mixer. I need a microphone. I need a piano microphone. I need a way to edit on I was just editing all those videos on my phone with my thumbs in iMovie for that first year. So everybody just told me all the things I needed to do, and I wrote them down. And that's been one of my coolest experiences in my whole career, is asking for help when I needed it, because things got beyond me and I didn't know how to do it. And what happened was that as soon as I hung up from that live on YouTube, people emailed me and said, I'm going to send you, I know what exactly the mixer audio interface you need. I'm mailing it to you. What's your address?
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. That happened with a few items. And around the same time, I decided, people said you should go to the NAMM show, the music gear show that happens in Anaheim every year. And so I went, and all I did was go to the booths of my favorite brands, and I showed them on my phone. I was like, this is my YouTube channel. I forget what I had at the time, getting close to 100,000, I think, subscribers. I said, if you were to let me borrow any of your gear, I'd make a video about it. And this microphone right here is from the company Earthworks. that sent me my piano microphone, and they sent me this microphone. And at first, they were just a long-term borrow, but after they realized I was going to showcase those microphones in every one of my videos, they just gave them to me. So that was amazing. They helped me
Awesome.
get my gear, and they're still my I think my best sponsor. Also, this microphone stand comes from On Stage, and I met them at NAM, and they gave me some stuff that I needed too. It's really, really helpful. So it was like strangers started to help, and that was so cool. It was a beautiful community happening. And then some people said maybe you need to sell some t-shirts, get a logo, like. And in those early days, I look back now, I kind of cringe at myself. I was like, I was trying, I did. You can see on my website, if you go, you can buy like all kinds of things with a Aimee Nolte logo on them. That part of my business model did not take off, and it's ridiculous. I don't make any money doing that, but I tried. I was like, come on, who wants the logo of their favorite YouTuber? But in the day, back in that day, I thought they might. I also used to do videos where I like drive in my car somewhere, or I make my breakfast while I talk to you. I hate those old videos. But the internet changes, like everything changes, and as time goes on, I can see the evolution of it all. So what I'm noticing is that I'm starting to actually make some money, and I at the same time my husband's money started to diminish, and I thought probably people would take lessons from me if I offered it. So I don't know, I put stuff out on my Facebook or something. If you want lessons over Skype back then, I write to me, and I was charging, I think, $75 for a 45-minute lesson, and my schedule just filled right up. And that became the biggest part of my income, was teaching lessons. And I did that for a couple of years until I completely got burned out on it and decided that wasn't my favorite thing at all. But it helped income wise. And around the same time, YouTube channel got a little bigger, and I started getting, I would get emails from colleges and jazz festivals that would say, Aimee, you want to come be our guest artist? Do you want to adjudicate at our festival and listen to all these high school bands and, critique them or whatever? And that was actually like a dream come true for me, because I grew up doing that in middle school, high school, going to these festivals. And I always thought it'd be so cool if I could be the one doing the judging. And so that became another part of my income. Gigs started to happen a little more. And let's see, and then things kind of started to change on the internet. I realized that I might need to put some effort into my Facebook, into my Instagram. I might need to create a TikTok account. YouTube was starting to have shorts. So I thought, all right, I guess I need to figure these things out. And that's a continual journey for me, but I started doing it. And Instagram, TikTok, Facebook have all gone through periods where they pay for those reels and shorts, and they've gone through periods where they completely take it away and you don't make anything. YouTube shorts have never paid anything. They pay like just pennies. It's probably worse than Spotify. The real videos on YouTube can make some money, but those shorts, nothing. So I thought to myself, if it's important to grow these other platforms, I have to decide what they can do for me. So what can YouTube Shorts do for me if they're not going to pay me any money? And the thing I thought of was maybe I can drive people to the other things I'm working on. So I've always got projects going, right? I'm a creative. So other than just making money the whole time, I made this promise to myself that I was only going to make stuff that was genuinely interesting to me. I was never going to look for what's trending. and try to be the one to make the first video about whatever's a hot topic. That hasn't concerned me. I have tried to remain a curious musician who gets inspired and thinks of ideas. And I don't want to make anything unless I feel I'm honest like that. So all I could think of to do with these shorts was, if I'm making an album, let's tell people about it in the shorts. If I've just made a YouTube video that I'm proud of, let's tell people about it in the shorts. And somebody gave me great advice early on when I was making what you now call vertical content. I remember I went to NAMM one year, and I was in this circle of super powerful women, and we were all talking to each other and floating ideas off each other just one night. And one of them, her job was like director of vertical content for, I forget which company, but I was like, really? Like, that's a whole job now? Just stuff you can watch on your phone? And I got some good advice right around that time. And it was that if you're scrolling, if you're like feeding your brain whatever it's looking for, dopamine in your, endless scrolling, and we all do it, whether it's TikTok or Reels or Facebook or whatever, it's kind of likely that if you see something that looks extra produced, perfect lighting, perfect sound, great camera work, whatever, you're going to think they're trying to sell me something and scroll away. But if you see something that somebody made with their phone and it doesn't have the perfect everything and it just looks like it is organic and came from somebody, at least for me, I'm going to keep watching because I'm like, this is a person like me. This is why I'm here. I want to connect. I want to see what people are doing in their real lives. And so for me, I have not put the production effort into my shorts in hopes that it will feel organic and honest, and I can keep people engaged with my ideas, hopefully, rather than my amazing production. And Instagram took off for me November of last year, I want to say. I maybe had 10,000 subscribers, which sounds like a lot, but for me, I had like 300,000 on YouTube at this point, and so that wasn't very huge on Instagram, and I thought I probably need to do the same thing I did on YouTube to grow this. So I started just sitting at my piano over there. Whatever interesting idea I might have had in my head that day, I would turn on my phone and make a video. Most of my Instagram videos are my hand on the piano, and I just have my other hand shooting my hand, and I'm talking to my phone, and that's all they are. Turned out that if I had those close-up videos of my hand and I'm saying things like, do you recognize this chord progression? What if I go from this chord to this chord? What does that make you feel? I'd ask people questions, like just trying to make them not scroll up, And that worked for me. One video a day on Instagram, and I think in the course of about 3 months, I got up to like 100,000 followers on Instagram. And Instagram is a different beast. It's younger. YouTube, my analytics have always shown that I spread across ages, with a little bit heavy on the over 45 group. But it's kind of equal across ages until you get up there, then it's a little more. But Instagram, I had to keep it younger. And I started putting everything that I would put on Instagram, on TikTok, and on Facebook Reels, and on YouTube Shorts. And there's an app from China that I've been curious about and trying, called Red Note, that I put things on as well. But then it's interesting to me, if I put the same content everywhere, how does it perform across platforms? And which kind of videos do better on which platforms? And sometimes people would get angry at me in the comments, but for different reasons. And I noticed on Facebook, well, it's the older population getting mad at me for not putting up subtitles. And then maybe on Instagram, I get angry kind of comments because people are younger and I don't talk fast enough to keep their attention. Like, just people get angry for all kinds of reasons. And I've tried to develop a thick skin to not get my feelings hurt, but to just accept their advice just as if they were those people that helped me on that live stream all those years ago. Like everything I take with a grain of salt, but I try to listen and be like, okay, I guess, things are changing. I've got to change too. And plus I'm going to turn 48 next month. So it's always a struggle for me to try to at least fool myself into thinking that I'm keeping my younger audience. But I've had some cool experiences through Instagram, and it turns out that pretty famous people are in charge of their own Instagram accounts. And I have some pretty famous people following me on Instagram, and some of them have even reached out. I've been able to meet them and talk to them, and that's just crazy to me. Let's see. I haven't looked at my notes once, and I want to make sure I'm not. I do have notes. I want to make sure I'm not leaving anything out. Yeah, so, I mean, I've had opportunities to collaborate with people that I wouldn't have been able to collaborate ever if I hadn't started on this media journey in 2016. John Clayton played a duet with me on my album in 2019. And that's because I went to see one of his shows. I don't know if you know who John Clayton is. He's a famous jazz bass player. And he had really impacted me when I was in college. And so I made this YouTube video all about John Clayton and how he changed the way I think. And anyway, I went to John Clayton's show in LA, and I went up to him afterward to just shake his hand and thank him. And he goes, "I saw your video." I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, I watched the whole thing." He's like, "A friend sent it to me." And that was kind of terrifying, actually. But then a couple of weeks later, I was at my own gig, and I saw the back of somebody's head, and I thought, that looks like the back of John Clayton's head. And then he turned his head, and I was like, that's John Clayton at my gig. And then he invited me to join him at dinner, and then he gave me his phone number. And then when I got up the guts, I asked him if he would be on one track of my album, and he said, okay. And that was crazy. Like opportunities came to me that I could never have had because I stayed home to raise a family. Like, it was really a leap of faith to do that, and I wouldn't take it back because I think I was a fun young mom, and I'm hoping I'll be a fun young grandma when all my kids are out of the house now. They're like 19 to 26, 4 kids. But no way was anybody going to know who I was just doing 1 gig a week, until all of this happened. So that was amazing for me. But I think I was able to keep my head about me most of the time. I do look at some of those early videos and think I really cringe when I watch them. I think I was way too animated. Like, I talked too slowly. I tried to be too funny. I don't know. But as I've developed that stuff over the years, I think I always just asked myself if it was worth it to me. Like, am I making something that I'm genuinely interested in? And I also read a book not too long ago that helped me. I don't know if you know the YouTuber and musician named Andrew Wong. His last name is Huang. He's amazing. But he wrote a book a few years ago. I think it's called Making Your Own Rules, all about his journey in the industry. And one of the things that he said rang true to me. I hadn't actually sat down and clarified it in this way for myself. But he said, if a project presents itself to you, you should ask yourself 3 things. And he has a little visual in his book. It's like this pyramid, but one of them is the work good? Like, will this project make me better? Is it good for whoever, society? Is it good, intrinsically good? Another one is the money good? And another one is, are there good people on the project? And I think that's dead on. Like, he says, if people ask you to do a project, if 2 of those things are true, you should say yes. And if 3 of them are ever true, you've hit the jackpot. So, I mean, take this today, right? My friend Dallas McCorkindale reached out to me and said, do you want to do this thing for the Atlanta Federation of Music? And I said, when is it? what do you expect of me? Who's going to be there? And what will you pay me? Those were my questions, you know. I don't think I asked it like that. I said like, is this a paid thing or a volunteer thing? I think that's what I said. And it turns out that this one meets two of the requirements. That I'm doing it for free, but the work is good and the people are good. And that's enough. So I think having those things in mind as you go through life, making business decisions can really help. And also, I mean, he also has this other rubric. I took a picture of it before I got on because I wanted to tell you about it. This one just looks like a big old Venn diagram. It's like, I don't know, you probably can't see it, but it's like this. And the things in it, they say, is this something I want to do? Is this something I'm good at? What has worked well for me before? Is this something that's making me money? And what's trending? I don't fully subscribe to that because I really have tried not to do what's trending unless it's interesting to me. Do you remember that thing about Laurel and Yanni? Like, you remember that? Like, it was like Laurel, like a voice, and some people heard Laurel and some people heard Yanni. Do you remember that? It was like around the same time as the blue dress and the brown dress. Like, what do you see? Like, that was interesting to me and trending. That's one of the times when I've hopped on a thing. I was like, oh, I have something to say about this. But that was it. You know, I had something to say. So I've always tried to just think about what's important to me and what platform I can use best to make it happen and do it. So sometimes I'm making an album. Sometimes I say to myself, nobody's listening to my past album. I can see the numbers and they're abysmal. What can I do to maybe make that spike? And so I think, okay, well, I wrote this one song that's got a really cool Lydian chord in it. What if I do one of my videos on Instagram and I just play the chord? And I say, have you ever heard a chord like this? You know, I ask a question, right? This is called a blah blah chord. Listen to those notes. I actually use this on my song, Blah Blah. Play a quick clip of it. And then, just for fun, a couple of days later, I go look at my analytics. Is anybody listening to that song? And usually there's a little mountain in the analytics. Like, same thing with a YouTube video. If I think that video didn't do very well on YouTube, maybe I can use Instagram, maybe I can use Facebook. It depends. Like, I made a video about Michael McDonald, and I marketed the crap out of that on Facebook, on my own videos on Facebook, because that's where the old people are who know Michael McDonald, right? Like, it's probably not going to work as well on TikTok. But to ask yourself what part of your business needs to be doing better, and then say, well, what am I going to do to make that part get better? And it might be that your own practice is suffering. Maybe the answer is I need to say yes to more gigs. Maybe the answer is I need to reach out to more venues. Maybe the answer is I need to go to more jam sessions and meet more musicians. Like, being a musician is so multifaceted. And I like to think that the versatility of music, like the different parts of music that you have to be creative about, can cross over into marketing yourself, I guess, into being able to make money. And I was going to mention too that sometime around 2020, my husband's business didn't make money anymore, and it needed to be me. And it was amazing that when everybody else's work started failing or not working for them, mine went up because everybody was online all of a sudden. So that was super lucky for me that I had built that, and people continued. They even bought more PDFs than normal, and they watched my videos more than normal. So that was just lucky. But I was able to carry us for a couple of years when he wasn't making so much money. And we're not wealthy, but made a decent go of things. I want to tell you one more thing that happened for me. People would always say, do you want to have a Patreon, Aimee? Why don't you have a Patreon? And I always thought my PDFs are kind of my Patreon. I don't want to have something where I'm like, oh, if you're in at the level of $20 a month, I'm going to make you your own special video, or I'm going to have a special live stream where only my Patreon members are. Again, more because I'm not a type A personality and I didn't want to be beholden to some people that expected something of me. But in like 2021, a friend that I made through YouTube, Adam Neely, and another friend from YouTube named Corey, who does 12-tone music, they suggested to this company they were a part of called Nebula that they should reach out to me. You know it, Stephanie. Awesome. Maybe if you watch my YouTube videos, you hear me do ads for Nebula. It's changed my life. Nebula it's a platform kind of like Netflix or something. It's just for educational content. And they are a couple of things. They're a platform where content goes, you can watch videos, but they're also a management company so once I signed up and got all set with them, they said, okay, Aimee, tell us how many videos you want to make a month. You want to make 2 videos a month, 3, 4, whatever you want, and we're going to find you sponsors for those videos. So maybe Skillshare, maybe NordVPN, and they're going to actually pay you up front to make a YouTube video. So usually if I make a video that ends up getting 100,000 views, maybe that makes me $1,000, but it's going to take 3 or 4 years to make me that amount of money. I think I was looking the other day, my sister was asking me, and my highest video has over 1 million views, and in the course of like 7 years, it's made me $7,000. So, I mean, it's a good chunk of change, but over 7 years. So now Nebula finds me a sponsor. They pay me right up front, nice amount of money to make a YouTube video, and then I don't care if the video does well or not. Doesn't matter to me. I've already made money. So that's so cool. And what else Nebula did for me was they had this Slack channel, like a Discord, where all the creators that make content for Nebula help each other. So if I'm ever like thinking, okay, I've got a video that I want to make about this specific thing, I can just say in the little Slack channel, I'm like, anybody help me think of a title for this video? This is what it's about. And they're so good at it. All these like creators that are better for me tell me, okay, how important a good title is, how important a good thumbnail is, because you could have the best video in the world, and if you don't have a good title and thumbnail, nobody's ever going to click on it. So they helped me like change my thinking about how to make better content for YouTube, and they got me sponsors, and they also started saying, Aimee, if you have any full-length class that you want to produce, we'll produce it for you. We'll fly you out to New York. We have a studio. We'll shoot it, and I've done that 3 or 4 times. Then after they pay me up front to make that class, they continue to pay me because I plug the class in my videos. So as long as I can keep people signing up for Nebula, they'll keep paying me to make sponsors on my videos. And it took care of my Patreon problem. It's a miracle for me. The motto of Nebula is to help medium level channels to be able to create a sustainable living. And yeah, it's been a game changer for me. So that's lucky. I got lucky that my friends recommended me for that. And I just doing what I'm doing and taking it one day at a time. And I'd love to have your questions if you've got them. Stephanie, would you mind unmuting? Oh yeah, there you go.
Hi. Yeah. No, sorry, I couldn't reach the button in time. Yeah, I love Nebula. I have a subscription to them, and I've seen your videos on there.
Thank you.
I have heard that it's creator owned, or that there's some type of like shareholder situation. Can you talk about that?
It's true. Anybody who wants to, I think, can buy in at $10,000. I think that's like the minimum or something. And I mean, all of us have a say over everything. There's a specific Slack channel that, or I don't know what you call the subs within it, but where every business decision that they're ever thinking about, they put out there and everybody comments. So yeah, we do have we have a say in that. And I don't think the people who have invested have more of a say than people who haven't. But yeah, everything feels equal there. It's pretty cool. Anybody else? Yeah, Paul.
Hi. Yeah. You were talking about using the different platforms, sort of being comfortable with hitting the different platforms for their different uses and things like that. I've got like a YouTube channel. I was not on social media at all until December. And basically, I hated the whole vibe of social media. I think everybody who's behind it, I hate Zuckerberg, I hate Musk. It's the typical like these guys got no ethics. Anyway, so
Yeah,
I had an
you're not
issue with
wrong.
it. Right, I had an issue with it. Until what happened is the last tour that I did was Funny Girl, the great classic musical, right?
Yeah.
So I'm playing drums for that, and the young lady that was the lead was just phenomenal, right? So the thing that was really cool about this was that Melissa Manchester was playing the mom.
Cool.
So last year, when I was playing Atlanta with the show, I spoke with the vocalist Katarina McCrimmon about doing a jazz standards record because I'm like, you at 26, this young lady could sing like just rings around everybody. And I was like, hey, let's make a jazz record. So the bass player from the tour played. I got a local guy here, one of the guys. Anyway, we did the record, and it was beautiful. So I was like, hey, I'm used to selling jazz records, which I got to pay people to buy, or pay people to listen to. You know how that is. So I went to Melissa's dressing room, knocked on her door. I said, hey,
Great person.
she's such a beautiful person. I said, hey, I made this record. I want to do something. Can we have lunch and I pick your brain? So we sit down and she says, when she was teaching at USC, that all of her students taught her about the importance of social media. She's like, look, Paul, I know you don't like these guys, but you got to be on social media. That's where the market is. So that's exactly the same thing I heard from the label that I was talking to when I was trying to sell them the record. It's just like, oh man, this is an amazing record, but there's no social media numbers. And I'm like, it's a great record.
Yeah, who cares?
Like, yeah, the world doesn't work that way anymore, bud.
Yeah.
We gotta sell this to people. So the social media thing emerged. So I hired somebody to do this stuff, affiliate with the label and all that stuff. So I'm trying to get a handle on, self marketing and doing all the things you're talking about. And the YouTube thing, one of my friends said, if you want to succeed on the internet, you got to be useful.
I like it.
And I was like, man, that's a really good point. So I'm trying to get my brain around how I want to approach this stuff because now I'm off the road. I'm done touring. I'm doing a lot of teaching and I enjoy teaching. And I grew up in Las Vegas and I learned from the guys that invented the musics that I loved when I was a kid. My dad was an arranger and I grew up on the bandstand. So I learned through the apprentice system. And then I went on to study with some great teachers. So now I'm the old guy, and it's my job to give the generations after me the knowledge that I've got, so it's preserved, right? That's the essence of the music business, right?
Sure.
Actually, of music, not the business, but of music.
Yeah,
So I'm trying
pass
to
it
figure
along.
out how to do like what you're doing, like talk about it, and I'm coming to these things late. I'm 60, I've been on social media since December,
Do you want?
I'm like trying to run to catch up. So I appreciate what you have to say. I made so many notes about, what you're talking about and how to use the shorts to promote the longer things, strategies like that and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I haven't done TikTok. I am on Instagram and things like that. Yeah, and the age group thing really matters. Older people, Facebook, younger kids on Instagram. And I see the drummers that are really successful on Instagram, much more flash and things like that. But I want to talk about how, I hate to tell you guys, blowing chops is fun, but 2 and 4 pays the bills, brother.
Yep.
It's
Sure.
like, I would like to talk about the things that I know about making music and the craft and things like that. So I'm
It's
thinking about
good.
starting a Substack, and doing a podcast and some things like that. So
Good.
really lighting a fire here. I guess I don't really have any a specific question other than
I
uh,
have questions for
help.
you.
Help. Okay, go ahead. What do you got?
Do you have a place where you're keeping a running list of all of your ideas that you want to talk about?
I am now. I'm
Good.
writing this list down now.
Okay,
A
good.
list of
So
ideas. Okay.
I always have in my notes app on my phone, I've got a huge list of things that I want to make videos about. And if I come to a week where I'm like, okay, I need to make a video this week, but I don't have any ideas, I go to that list and I think, all right, what sounds interesting to me from this,
Yeah.
So that's something. You're totally right. You want to be useful and you want to be, I think you want to figure out where you're unique. So you are unique, there are flashy drummers and do you want me to look at your Instagram? I could, if you want me to, like I could help you with what you've already done and what I think needs to change if you want.
Sure. I would love that. And
Yeah.
I would
Let's all
happily.
do it. Let's all go to it.
Oh no. Oh my God. Here we go.
Only if you want. Only if you want, Paul.
No, let's do it. Let's do it. I have more of a presence on Facebook than I have on Instagram, but check me out. Let's go.
Paul Hanna drums. You're the first thing that comes up when I type Paul Hanna. That's great.
There we go. I own it.
Good. You've got a great looking profile picture. I love that.
Thank you.
Might be-
That's my
might-
wife. My wife took that picture. Thank you, lovely wife.
Awesome. Good little biography. You've got a link tree. That's amazing. Let's look at one where you're sitting at the drums. If anybody sees, let's go to the fourth one. See what that's about. That if I just visited your page, I'd be like, all right, I want to hear if this guy can play, So, okay, let's watch that real quick. I'm going to see. He's with a trio.
Yeah, Liberty City.
Yeah. Nice. So I can see that you're like in the studio, you're laying some stuff down with your buddies, and you sound competent and good. That's actually really nice professional audio and video. You got different camera angles. That's amazing. Okay, so let me read what you wrote about it. Here is another snippet from our live in the studio footage of Liberty City featuring Grant Osborne and Sam something recorded recorded at this studio in Nashville. Okay, you've got 5 likes on it, and I can see how many people have watched it. It's 245 people have watched it, and it looks like you typically get up around the 300, 400, 500 mark with your videos. That's the better one. Okay, so I would say you've already published some things about that. Maybe I think I can see the first one. I'm going to read what you wrote about that.
Okay.
You just said thanks for all of the love for this project, and you can listen here, and you've left a link. Now, one thing is links do not work in descriptions of Instagram videos.
Okay.
Somebody would have to write that down with a pencil and go to their browser and type it all in. So,
Okay.
but what does work?
Yeah.
What does work? So, what's your goal with these 3 posts? What are you hoping will happen from these 3 posts?
What I'm trying to do from these 3 posts is attract people to Spotify, basically, and Apple Music, because the guy who on the label that I talked to, and I actually ended up selling the record to the label, and I got him to buy one of my jazz records. So I actually managed to get on a label.
Congrats.
So what I'm trying to do is get my numbers up, and one of the main metrics they use is Spotify.
Yeah.
I have a huge problem with that because Spotify is a bunch of criminals. They're making their own AI videos to steal money from us, and marketing and all that stuff. But still, that's the metric. So I'm like,
You're right.
okay, how do I get people over to Spotify?
Okay.
And I just have to play the Spotify game. So I'm trying to build up following so my numbers look better for the label, so I can continue to work on projects for them. I just did a Stevie Wonder jazz record for them, and they gave me the budget. I hired the guys who did the stuff. That'll be out
Great.
next year.
You just need your Spotify numbers up. So
Yeah.
when I looked at that video, I had no idea why you put it up. My idea would be, all right, Paul wants me to see that he's a good drummer. I've seen that, but I didn't know what you wanted to get out of that. So
Okay.
use text. You can, when you edit your videos on Instagram, there's a text button. You can put a text right up from the beginning that says new album on Spotify now.
Okay.
That way people go, huh, I'm going to listen to this. I'm taking a walk right now, or I'm going to get in my car. I'm going to listen to Paul's album.
Okay.
you can actually come on as yourself before you play the footage and say, I haven't told you guys, but I just made an album. Some of my favorite people are playing on it with me, and we do a really cool thing on this song I want you to listen for. We changed to 3/4 meter in this bar. See if you can hear it. Like, give them something that's gonna stand out so that they have something to focus on.
Yeah.
Say it, put it in the captions, real easy to click the captions button and have it transcribe everything you say. Give them, like, you have to ask yourself, why am I putting this out there? What do I want from it? And make sure that people get the message, like make sure they understand.
I had not thought of it that way in terms
Yeah.
of beyond that. Thank you. That's very informative. And I think also the social marketing, the social media person I'm working with, he wasn't aware of the link thing with Instagram and stuff like that. So this will be a good conversation to have with that person. So thank you
Good.
so much.
And anytime you share something as a real post
Yeah.
on Instagram or Facebook, you can also share it to your story, because your story is a place where links work. When you click to share something on your story, one of the buttons is you can add a link, and you can actually put the link right there. People can click it and it takes them to Spotify to listen to your song. So always when you do a real post, do a separate post on your story that includes something they can click to be taken somewhere. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Great questions, Paul. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'll let you go and deal with the other people. What I'll do is I'll shoot you an email, and maybe we could do some more of this with some of the other things. And I'd be happy to pay you for your time, because this advice is exactly what I need. Facebook and things like that. So anyway, I'll send you an email and we can talk about it. So I'll let go for everybody else. Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. Anybody else have any questions? Yeah, I see. Let's see, is that Stephanie?
Hi, sorry, it's me again.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a special interest in AI, not necessarily using it, but the way that it will affect our industry, arts industries in general, like where music and art and writing go from this point. And I was wondering if you had any thoughts on like what kinds of content can help differentiate human creators from those who use AI, and how to like stand out in this
Yeah.
AI slop.
I just spent the weekend with my mom and stepdad, and I could hear my stepdad scrolling through TikTok and Instagram, and he watches so many videos that are AI. And
It's
and
terrible.
I mean, I know immediately from the other room because I can hear the voice, like, I wish someone had told me this earlier, blah, 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 right? Like, it's like you listen to it and you're like, that is not a human. But he doesn't care. Like, so I asked him about it. I was like, you don't care if that's a real person talking to you or not? Like, and it's usually stuff about the news, right? And I was like, you don't ask yourself, like, who is that? And he said, no. He's like, if it's in my feed, I know it's something I want to watch. Super dangerous. Like,
It's weird
yeah,
to me.
but it's eye-opening, and he's a great guy. Like, and
Right.
I love him. But the older generations are having a harder time not only just telling which things are AI, but even caring that something's AI. Like, if you spend a little time on Facebook and I don't know, you just want to jump off a bridge or something. Like, it's like
Right.
reading all the comments is
I
like,
do.
oh my word, like,
Yeah.
really? You guys believe that this whale jumped on a boat and everybody picked barnacles off of it and saved it and threw it back in the ocean? Like,
hmm
and people in the comments are like, God bless them.
Well, I do want to reassure you, there is a vocal community of people that are really against AI
Yeah.
content.
Yeah.
And so, as a creative person who's trying to make a living, I'm always interested in that's the community that I'm trying to reach, is these people who
I'm so
don't
glad.
want
Yeah.
want
So,
AI.
so I would say don't use it. You can use it. Well, my own little moral check about AI in the year 2025, September. I mean, it could change in October because, geez, everything's changing so fast. But is if I if I need to use AI or ChatGPT as a personal assistant isn't something that somebody goes to college for. Like, you don't go to college to learn how to get coffee for people or like, run their errands or something. It's just a job. And if I need to use it as my personal assistant to say, what do I need to do to prepare for this situation? Or can you help me think of a title for my new YouTube video? Or can you think of a question or a comment somebody might put if I make this post? That's like okay in my book, but I'm never going to use an AI voice to make my videos. I'm never going to say, can you please make me an image of this or a video of that? Like, because I'm the person I want to do it. If I needed somebody to make me music, that's something you go to college for. That's something somebody ought to be paid for. So that's my own little personal, take on it. Is if it's something, a skill that somebody has, that you could be paid for, don't use AI to do it. And in my own way, maybe I'm slightly helping, but not really. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's not good.
Yeah, I largely agree with you there. I was just wondering if you had any ideas about how to compete with AI produced content in the future, or
All I
or
can tell
any
you is to just
insight.
be you.
Yeah,
AI can't be you, right? You're Stephanie. You've got a couple cats. They look amazing. Like,
I do. They were crawling back there.
it's the same advice Rick Beato gave me in the beginning, right? Like, nobody can ever be you. So if you have something to bring and share, fight AI with this.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Anybody else?
I've got a question for you, Amy.
Sure.
Um, it- have you ever taken videos down,
Hmm.
whether it's Instagram or YouTube? Have you ever found it like,
I want to say on some of my early live videos, once in a while I would turn it off, like press the stop button and think, "Oh, I said something maybe I shouldn't have said." Like, and I'll just take it down. Like, I don't want to be canceled over something, like maybe I phrased something in a way that was insensitive or used a stupid saying that you know could rub a group of people the wrong way or um so I think sometimes live, I've taken some of those down. I I don't think I've had to take anything down. Um, Once in a while, maybe I'll make a mistake, and people will say, "Actually, Amy, you're wrong about this." Um, and if they catch me and I'm wrong, I'll like DM them and say, "Thank you for pointing that out. You have saved me a lot of headache. I'm going to take this video down." But maybe that's happened like twice or something. The thing that sucks is when I make a YouTube video and spend hours and hours filming and editing and writing, and then somebody says, "No, Amy, that wasn't Chuck Rainey on this recording. It was James Jamerson," and really, I spent 2 minutes talking about that. Like, that's terrible. So usually in that case, I'll go to the comments and I'll put a pinned comment so that if somebody goes to comment, "What's the matter with you? Didn't you know that was James Jamerson?" They'll see mine and I apologize. Um, so learning that little trick that you can put a pinned comment up usually saves me from having to remove an entire video. Some people don't look at the pinned comment and they make their own comment anyway, and it's nothing I can do about it. But yeah, is that what you were meaning? Or
yeah, no, more or less. I guess I've seen on Instagram, like I'll see even some of our colleagues who will have 30,000 followers, let's say, and then they only have like 50 videos or 50 posts
yeah,
or about 100 posts. And I start to ask myself, well, do they really only have 100 posts, or have they been
Yeah.
taking some of them down after a certain period of time? And why would that even be? Like, is that a thing?
There's a strong possibility that they're removing earlier videos and re-uploading them so that they don't have to make new content, especially the ones that do well.
Hmm.
That could be. And then, like my own kids, like my youngest kid is 19 and he's got 1,000 or more, maybe 2,000 followers on Instagram. He's just a normal kid. He has 2 posts. Like
Right, right.
it's just, they don't post anymore. Everybody's scared to death to like be cringy, so they don't. I'm
Hmm.
glad to have kids that keep me up to date with stuff like that. So I think I'm friends with some younger content creators who look at stuff a lot differently than I do, but I like to have dinner with them occasionally and see what they're thinking about. And they have, yeah, they have different thoughts than I do. I'm glad that what I'm doing works for now, but there might come a point where I need to rethink things a little bit, and it might mean that I don't make as much content or that I up my quality of production for shorts. I don't know. I'm always asking my kids, they're like 26, 24, 22, 19, and there's going to come a time when they're out of touch, I suppose. But luckily I've got like nieces and nephews that I do try to like stay good friends with them so that I can ask them from time to time, what do you think about this? Would you click on this video if I made it? Like, do you think I look dumb in the thumbnail? They'll be like, oh, you've got too much glow around you in this picture. Like, get rid of the glow. Nobody does that anymore. Or quit putting an outline on your text. Nobody does that anymore. Like, okay. Like,
Right, right.
it's a silly game that we play. And maybe you don't want to play it. You're right. You're right. I mean, like, these people are some of the wealthiest people on the planet, and it's just obscene and terrible. And it's terrible that you can't put out a good album and expect people will listen to it because you don't, and then you don't have the Spotify numbers and you can't do anything with it. It's crazy and it's no good. And Spotify is something that I don't really have figured out. Like, people don't really listen to my music. I have like 700 monthly listeners or something, and that's frustrating for me. So I haven't quite figured that out. I don't know how to change it. I'm gonna start touring. I've just hired a manager. And so I'm thinking maybe if I actually get out of this house to make things around the world, maybe, and play music in live settings, maybe people will listen to me on Spotify more, but I don't know. It's a guessing game in a lot of ways. Yeah, Paul.
I was just gonna say, you just do a bunch of jazz versions of ABBA stuff, right? I mean, because all the Swedish songwriters took over. Let's get our power back. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Bye. Thanks.
Writing that down.
Yeah, note to self. Yeah, you bet. I want 5%.
Sometimes people will write to me and say, if you make a video about these are terrible songs that everybody hates and I love, that will do well. I'm like, I'm not going to make a video about 5 terrible songs. Like, I don't know. People have all kinds of ideas. They'll be like, why don't you make a video about this specific song? My answer is, like, it might do really well, but my answer is because I haven't thought of anything original about it. I don't have anything useful, like Paul said, to add to, like, I'm not going to make a video about Stairway to Heaven unless I have some like novel thought about Stairway to Heaven that nobody's thought of before. Okay, then I'll make it. But like, I made a video about a year ago about Steely Dan's song Peg because I was listening to it on an airplane and I realized that it's a blues. I was like, I've listened to this song a bajillion times and not once did I ever realize that it's a blues. I'm going to make that video. And I thought I was being unique and novel, but a bunch of people in the comments said, oh, you can hear an interview of Donald Fagen where he actually says that it's a blues. Okay, wasn't unique, but that's what I'm going for. I'm going for something nobody's ever thought of before, or very, that I'm not just going to make a video about such and such because it might do well. And maybe that's what's kept me from having 3 million subscribers like Rick Beato does. Like, Rick tries to tap into what he knows will do well, and I'm not faulting him for that. It's just not my style.
Mm.
Are we good, everybody?
Yeah, I think
What do we
that's
think? Maybe you guys aren't even interested in this stuff that I talked about and you wish I had covered something completely different. Is that the case for anybody? Jacob,
mm,
Jack, Mary, you
not for
guys
me.
don't know?
No, this has been great.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just I want to speak into something real quick. I'm not a YouTuber by any means, but like talking about people doing different things and like for Paul and for Stephanie, like I'm noticing, everybody's got their own unique voice in all of this. And Aimee, you're just saying like I don't want to do something for the, just what the people want, And what you do is very different from what Adam Neely does and the guys at Open Studio or whatever,
Yeah.
and just as an encouragement to anyone who's doing YouTube stuff, like what you have is unique and to you, and so follow that. I did have one question, Aimee. Thank you for all this. I think I was one of those Instagram followers that you got last fall.
Oh, thank you.
When I started following you, that was about that time. Would you, looking back, and I know, social media is ever changing, and like looking back, would you do anything differently in all of this, or even just in your musical career in general? Is there anything you would change?
Hmm. I don't know. I kind of like to live with no regrets, like think that every part of the journey was important. Um, I would have started Instagram sooner. I didn't start making an effort with it at the beginning. But I didn't, and I thought when Instagram started doing reels that was stupid because they were just doing exactly what TikTok's been doing. And I thought the same thing with Instagram stories because they did the same thing that Snapchat was doing. I was like, come on, Instagram, get an idea of your own. I wanted to rebel against that, but I shouldn't have. I should have just embraced it. Um, I I don't know. I would practice more. I mean, that's always the thing I regret. Like, I really thought when all my kids moved out, like if you would have asked me in like 2008 what I wanted to be doing in 2025, I would have said, I want to spend hours a day practicing. But I'm, it turns out that I practiced for things coming up. Like I've got a couple gigs this week, and so that's what I'm practicing this week. And I'm not just transcribing and diving in like my younger self probably would have wanted me to. There are times when I do, but because of all of this need to keep relevant and yeah, keep relevant, I guess, and keep the revenue coming in, I'm a lot focused on making content, and um, yeah, maybe my own playing suffers because of that. I hope not, but maybe a bit. It probably does.
No.
Yeah, it's like having the irons in the fire. Like, how many irons can you really have in the fire?
Yeah, it's true. And it kind of sucks too that if I am thinking about this particular jazz standard and how, oh, this is a really unique chord that I could play in bar 11 or whatever. My first thought isn't to um, write something that does that in my own music, or think of all the places I could play it and start practicing it. My first thought is, how can I make a video about this chord? And that's a little bit sad, I think. So I try to keep that in my own just bank and realize that there's a trap that I've probably fallen into, but I try not to. uh, um, yeah, I've got a super supportive family. In those early days of making videos, I would edit my videos and I could see where the audio gets super loud, and that's where I would be going, can you please not do the microwave while I'm recording? Like, just stay in your room just a little bit longer. I don't think I was ever like one of those terrible, mean mothers, but it got easier as everybody left the house, that's for sure. Uh, you guys are a real chill group to hang out with. I like it.
Aimee, thank you so much. This has been awesome.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. If any of you have questions, you can DM me on Instagram. That might be a good place, and just remind me that you were here at this hang, and um, that would be good. Paul, I probably I didn't say it out loud, but one of the reasons I stopped teaching privately is because I have a bad back. Like my lower back is kind of bad, and so sitting and teaching lessons kills me, and so I don't take any lessons anymore, or Zoom lessons or whatever. But I'll answer a question or two in a DM if you have it.
Okay.
Um,
I'll make
yeah,
sure.
or an email. My easiest email is just my whole name at Yahoo, Aimee Nolte.
Yeah, I got it queued up and ready to go.
Cool. Um, I do teach every other week up at a university in Idaho. They started flying me up to teach all their jazz piano students, and so like one day every 2 or 3 weeks, I do sit and teach all day, and then I'm a mess afterward. Like
Wow, is that like Boise State or up at Moscow or?
that's in Rexburg, and it's
Yeah.
it's BYU Idaho.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my mom and dad were from Idaho.
Were they?
Yeah, and I've been to Rexburg because I'm a nut about military aviation, and the guy's got a collection of World War
Cool.
II aircraft up in Rexburg. But anyway, if your lower back is giving you trouble, it might also be the esoteric people will tell you that you're concerned about money because finances always manifest as lower back trouble. So just thinking,
Yeah.
I wish it were that, but I was into rock
yeah.
climbing for a while and I fell. That's how I
Okay,
hurt my
okay.
lower back. Yeah.
I'm looking for the easy way out.
I
Anyway,
don't know. It's
yeah,
okay.
thank
I'm on it. It's the thing that hurts is like I could sit at the piano and play gigs for a long time or play, but it's the leaning in to touch my computer or leaning in to write something. That's what gets me. It's like the leaning. So anyway, that's neither here nor there really, but yeah, I'm not teaching much anymore.
Thank you
well,
so much.
thank you all so much for being here with us. And Aimee, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And if
You want
I
to
know
say?
most of us here are members of our local, but if you guys have any questions about the Atlanta Federation of Musicians moving forward, we will get this up online as well. And you all have a wonderful evening.
Yeah, thank you everybody for hanging out. It's nice to meet some of you, even those of you who did not show your face. I see you. Thanks for being here. See you guys.
Yes, hands.
Thanks, Aimee.
Thank you
Thank you.
so much.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Night.